Good morning, students. Myself Manoj Chotia from Raghunath Vidyalaya, Ratangad. Welcome to our new class. Today's our topic is photoperiodism. What is photoperiodism? After the vegetative growth of a plants for a certain period of time. After the vegetative growth of plants for certain period of time, the plants enter the genital stage, or we can say in reproductive stage, and it begin process of flowering, because as you know, flower is the reproductive part of plant. So it begins process of flowering. Entry from physiological condition into flowering. Entry from physiological condition into flowering stage in the plant is controlled by many factors. Means from vegetative growth to enter in reproductive growth is controlled by many factors. The physiological condition in different plants. One of these the period of light or photoperiodism. The study of the effect of photoperiodism on flowering was first done by two American scientists, Garner and Allard. Garner and Allard. Garner and Allard. They noticed, remember this is one mark question. They noticed that when the Maryland mammoth variety of tobacco, Maryland mammoth variety of tobacco is shown in spring, then in spite of good physical growth, there is no flowering. But this kind of seeds are spotted in winter season, or we can say in spring season. Or seeds of these plants is grown in a greenhouse. Or in Anton, and seed their newborn to the field in the beginning of summer season. On the basis of this experiment, they came to the conclusion that the critical factor of influencing flowering is the period of light, called photoperiod. Means, what is the definition of photoperiodism? Whenever any plants get a time limit of light, then it grow into reproductive stage. क्या होता है? पहले वेजिटेटिव ग्रोथ होती है, और वेजिटेटिव ग्रोथ के बाद में रिप्रोडक्टिव ग्रोथ होती है. और रिप्रोडक्टिव ग्रोथ कब स्टार्ट होगी? जब एक मिनिमम लेंथ का लाइट उस प्लांट को ऑब्टेंड होता है, तब वो क्या करता है? फ्लावरिंग स्टार्ट करता है, या हो गया कि रिप्रोडक्टिव ग्रोथ स्टार्ट करता है. दैट इज कॉल्ड फोटोपीरियडिज्म. और इसी बात को अकॉर्डिंग टू हिलमैन ने क्या कहा? हिलमैन, द रेस्पॉन्स ऑफ प्लांट्स towards the interval of light and dark period. The response of plants towards the interval of light and dark period is called photoperiodism. Now, classification of photoperiodism. On the basis of photoperiodism, plants are divided into three parts: SDP, LDP, and DNP. SDP means short day plants, LDP long day plant, and DNP day neutral plant. First of all, SDP, short day plants that flower when photoperiod is available in a shorter period than the definitive critical photoperiod are called short day plant. These plants require less than 12 hours long day and continuous long dark period 14 to 16 hours to produce flower. So it is more appropriate to say than long night plants. If the period of their continuous darkness is broken by giving a light beam, then the flower will not be produced. So we can say, what is short day plant? The plants which needs short day time. Example: tobacco, soybean, sweet potato, dahlia, sugarcane, mustard, etc. Now, what is long day plant? LDP means long day plant. Long day plants require long term light from critical photo period for flowering. These plants require continuous more than 12 hours of light, or we can say 12 hours of daytime. So they are called a short day period for flowering. These are called short night plants. The flowering is blocked when continuous light period of these plants is interpreted by giving darkness. Example: spinach, radish, sugar beet, wheat, potatoes. In short, we can say they need long time period of daytime for flowering. Now, third, DNP, day neutral plant, means there is no any effect of light. Those plants whose flowering process is not affected by the period of time of light, or we can say photo period are not allowed for these plants, are called day neutral plant. Example: tomatoes, cotton, corn, chili, and sunflower. So these are the day neutral plants. Now, next topic is site of photoperiodism stimulus. Site of photo period stimulus. First of all, Cheliakan give this phenomena. The task of receiving the photo period. The task of receiving the photo period is mainly done by leaves and buds. Cheliakan scientist conclude with his experiment that only one leaf is sufficient to observe photo period stimulus. The full expanded and developed leaves are more sensitive than the young leaves towards light intensity. Sensitivity of stimulation in mature or old leaves gradually decreases. Transmission of light stimulus is done through the phloem. Remember it, the transmission of light stimulus is done through the phloem to the flowering buds leaves, but its transmission is independent of the transmission of photosynthetic products. Thank you. Okay. Now, next, mechanism of photoperiodism. Mechanism of photoperiodism. What is the mechanism of photoperiodism? Several theories have been proposed for the purpose of clarifying the method of photoperiodism in plants. Some of these key principles are as follow. First, florism hypothesis. This is proposed by Cheliakan, so it is also called Cheliakan hypothesis. According to Cheliakan, in a specific photo period, the hormone including the formation of flower, which is called florism. The hormone which is responsible for flowering is called florism, according to Cheliakan. And this hormone is found in leaves, and florism hormone is comprised of two hormones, gibberellin and anthocyanin. Gibberellin we studied in detail. In gibberellin essential for the additional and increase of stem, and anthesis essential for flowering. Gibberellin is essential for flowering induction in essential for LDP plants, and anthesis is essential for short photoperiodic plants. When long photoperiodic plants are kept in short period light, then there is a anthesis is higher amounts and gibberellin is made in small quantity. But as soon as the leaves of the said plant get long period light, the quantity of gibberellin increases stimulously and flowering starts in plant. In short period plants, or we can say SDP, have opposite condition. When SDP is kept in long photoperiod light, then there is less quantity of gibberellin and anthesis. But as soon as the leaves of the shaded plants gets light of short photoperiod, the amount of anthesis increases stimulously and expression of any substances such as antithesis cannot be done. So this concept could not be established because of antithesis hormone is not isolated from any plant. So this hypothesis is not established. Now second hypothesis, phytochrome theory. Second theory, phytochrome theory, which is proposed by Borthwick and Hendricks. The scientists Borthwick and Hendricks. According to these scientists, a light receptor pigment is found in leaves of the plants is called phytochrome. Phytochrome was the pigment which is absorb the light. Phytochrome is bright blue green protein rich substances that is present in interchangeable form. The two forms of phytochrome are respectively PFR and PR. In the presence of light, PFR change in PR, and PR is in the presence of darkness or in the night change in PFR. So phytochrome is an interchangeable pigment. During the daytime, PFR form of phytochrome in the sunlight is sufficiently collected in plants, which blocks the flowering in SDP while motivate flowering in LDP. When the sun goes down, the opposite purpose occurs because in pigment form the PFR converted into PR form, which increase the amount of PR which inspire flowering in SDP while block flowering in LDP. It is control the formation of flowering hormone which affect flowering. Means PFR convert into PR in the presence of light and which is responsible for flowering in the LDP, and PR convert into PFR in the dark which is responsible for flowering in the SDP, means short day plant and long day plant. So this is our photoperiodism and its theory. In next class we conclude this chapter. Thank you for today's class.